What is up, Daddy Gang? It is your founding father, Alex Cooper, with Call Her Daddy.
Khloé Kardashian, welcome to Call Her Daddy.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so happy to finally meet you. You are the first Kardashian to come on Call Her Daddy. So this is a big moment.
This is a big moment. I am a trendsetter in the family.
Yeah, you are. Number one. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm really good. I'm really excited to be here. I called Kim on my way here.
Oh my God, was she like, don't say anything stupid. Don't give the family tea.
No, I think she knows I probably will. So she's like, just think about all your answers. I'm like, I do not think before I speak. And that's my problem.
I love it. Your mom knows you're here.
Yes.
What does Kris think right now?
I think she wants to be here. She was dying. I think I was like, oh, I'm doing this at 2. And she's like, if you need to call me, just at any time. And I'm like, okay. So I think she really wants to be here.
You're like, Mom,
give me some time. This is my thing.
You can come on next, Kris.
Oh, she will.
She's like, what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna get an email. You joke about how you like rarely leave your neighborhood these days, and it
Not
takes
a joke.
Yeah, no, okay, no,
serious.
Dead serious. What does it actually like take for you to get out of the house?
So I would say that for a few years, and I think it started with COVID, I think sort of everyone became social recluses for a minute. But that was my good initiation into being a recluse. And then it took me a good 4 years to get out of it. I feel like since I've been 40, I've been 40 for like 6 months or something, but I feel now I'm a little more social, but I'm choosy about where I go.
I think that's good though, right?
No, I think it's good, but it was unhealthy how reclusive I was, and it was like only kid things, and I wasn't going to do anything adult, and like nobody talked to me because I hate humans. And now I'm like, okay, I could socialize a little bit. I have my social batteries getting turned up a smidge.
Can you think of a recent time that someone forced you out of the house and you immediately regretted it?
Sometimes it's the second I get in the car that I'm like, what did I like? Oh, my outfit, like it's just how I feel. It's too much work. And then you just have to like schmooze people. And you're like, these aren't enjoyable conversations. They're like, it's just small talk. And like, nobody cares what I'm doing right now with my life. Like, shut up. So it's those moments. Oh gosh, I sound like such a Grinch.
No,
but
let me just validate you. It's so real. Like I was saying that to my friend the other day. I was like, I am really losing my patience for just this like fake chatter. Like I either want to be with my fucking family where I can just say it as it is and no one's going to get offended and we're all just talking real.
Yeah.
Or I'm at work because I love doing this. Is she calling? No.
I was like, it's her texting.
No.
Hold on. The queen. I'm not in glam. Phone call. Okay, boss.
Oh my God, I'm obsessed.
Oh my God. She has to be in glam.
I get it. It'll just be a phone call.
I respect her.
What is your favorite thing to do when you are like just chilling by yourself?
Oh, by myself?
Mm-hmm.
Never leaving the bed. By myself in my bed, watching TV.
What are you watching?
I mean, I love a documentary. I just watched, is it apple cider vinegar?
Oh my God.
No,
wait.
did I make that up?
No, but that sounds amazing.
It's the story about this health influencer from Australia that faked having cancer.
Oh, okay. Fascinating.
And it's like a 2 episode. She ends up not having it. She's still on the run and like whatever. But it's fascinating. So I like things like that, like sort of gossipy, but it's a docu. I need that.
I love that. Okay, this is really random. But what is something in your house that may surprise people?
You know, maybe by my bedside drawer is the more like, it's such like a mishmash of things. Like
I thought you were about to say like your bedside drawer has like, I thought you'd be like the vibrators in there. I was like, I didn't know where you were going.
We have vibrators. I mean, sure. But I wasn't going to disclose all that. But, you know, yes, in the bedside drawer. But I have like, because I don't smoke weed recreationally, but I have weed pens to smoke to go to sleep because I hate the feeling so much that it just knocks. Like if I could never smoke and talk to you.
Wait, that is an episode we have to do at one point, Khloé.
Oh, no, I'm nuts.
No, what would happen? You're just like,
I just am like, I either will hysterically laugh the whole time. My mom and I did gummies together on the show, and So I don't know. They didn't kick in because we're not used to gummies. And we went to a restaurant and we were so high at the restaurant and we're crying and we ate like 5 bags of chips and we're just like, we're ridiculous. But so I have people are always like, oh, I didn't know you smoke. I'm like, I sort of don't. I just smoke to go to sleep because I have a hard time sleeping.
I do the same thing. I take like a tiny edible because I don't want to be high out of my mind.
Right.
But just enough to like put me in that zone where I'm ready to sit back, relax, and
just
enjoy
relax,
the show.
turn the brain off a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And I also have something Courtney gave me for Christmas. It's called a biocharger.
What is that?
Exactly. It looks like a device from Back to the Future. I'm not kidding. I don't know if this generation knows what Back to the Future is, but it's this big ass device, like the size of this chair. And someone has to come and give you a tutorial. Also, it's like, you have to ask people if they want this gift. You don't just spring it on them because where am I putting such a thing? But it is really cool, actually. It does electrocurrency and you have different, it's so Courtney. Like the more I talk, it's like totally a Courtney gift.
I just was like looking through some of your quotes and I remember you saying to Courtney, like, why don't you have Wi-Fi in this big giant fucking house?
Yeah.
And she's like, it's not about the Wi-Fi, it's about the radiation.
Yeah, like nobody cares. No, we all want Wi-Fi. Nobody cares about the radiation when it comes to their phone.
No. Okay. You and your mom, Kris Jenner, obviously live next door to each other. What is the most intrusive thing that she has done since becoming your neighbor? Or are you the intrusive one?
No, I feel like she's the intrusive one. But you ask her and she might have a different story. So she spies, like if ever there's cars in the driveway, because we have 2 different driveways, but you can see both of them. And she will always ask like, oh, I see there's a white car outside. Whose car is that? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. And like, stop asking me. I'm 40 years old and I have 2 kids. Like she's very curious as to who's over there all the time. But what I found out recently that she does is when I'm not home, I guess she finds out that I'm not home and she goes in my closet and she looks at things to borrow or take. And I found that out actually today.
Wait, how did you find it out?
Because I asked her, I was like, God, what, like, I just need to know what, because I keep getting alerts like Kris Jenner is on your property. And I'm like, but what are you doing? Like, it's always when I'm gone, do you not know that I'm not, like that I'm home or I'm not home? And she's like, oh, well, I just wanted to look in your closet for something. And I was like, well, what are you looking for? And she's like, just to see if there's anything I could borrow. And I'm like, but you could, like, to me, I'm like, you could ask. And you're doing it intentionally when I'm gone.
Maybe she loves the thrill. Kris loves the thrill of snooping around.
She does. But then I'm like, well, what else are you looking through? All my drawers?
I feel like I just bought my parents a house and they're going to live like 10, 15 minutes away from me.
No, it's the best.
It is?
It is.
Okay, but Khloé, you are like sharing a land with your mom. Like you love it.
So I do love it.
Okay.
And especially like when you're going to have kids and all of that, that's going to be, it's what people, well, I think people dream of stuff like this. Maybe not being directly next door where we don't even have like a property line. We're a little too close, but 10, 15 minutes, that's such a blessing. And send your kids over there. But it's also, you don't have your parents, like you got to have dinners with them and there's no excuse. I think it's the best.
Do your sisters think you're insane?
We all live in the same gated community.
But they're not directly, like
No.
you can see through a window.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So they think I'm insane, but then Kylie is the one that wishes. She's like me. She's like, I wish I was next to mom. And I'm like, well, we could always trade houses. So yeah.
I feel like a big conversation, literally since all the way at the inception of Keeping Up with the Kardashians to now, is who is Kris's favorite child right now in this current moment? Who do you think it is?
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by White Claw. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're way too hot to be spending the summer sitting inside and just scrolling on your phone, okay? We are getting those bikinis out of storage and we are getting out of the group chat too, okay? I want all of us to have fun this summer, and you know what goes perfect with a 7 UV index and yapping with your girls? A cold can of White Claw, okay? I'm just getting back from UNWELL spring break in Miami, and let me tell you, there is nothing more refreshing than a cool, crispy White Claw by the pool. You give me a mango White Claw and a lounge chair, I'm set for the day, okay? Daddy Gang, it is officially White Claw summer. They've got only 100 calories in 12 glorious ounces. Plus, they're gluten-free and have the taste you know and love. I always like to grab a variety pack so everyone can have their favorite flavor, from peach to black cherry to mango. You truly can't go wrong. My personal favorite is OG black cherry through and through. I cannot be stopped when I get one in my hands. It's time to celebrate the end of hibernation season. Summer is around the corner, and it's time to get out and get after it. Cheers to that, okay, Daddy Gang? Let's go find a guy with a boat and grab a claw. Pick up a pack from your local favorite spot and grab life by the claw with your favorite flavor this summer. Tell him your founding father sent you. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Who is Kris's favorite child right now in this current moment? Who do you think it is?
Right now, because it does change, but it changes on probably who's doing the most. I don't know. But if like she was here, she's going to say me because I'm here. But it always goes between Kim and Kylie, those two.
But I feel like you're so rock solid with her. Like,
yeah, no, I am. But see, I know where I stand. Like, I don't care.
You don't need the flowers.
No, it doesn't bother me because I'm also like, girl, you're the one that calls me for everything. So we're good.
You know deep in your soul where you stand.
I do. I'm not insecure about it.
People on the internet always say the devil works hard, but Kris Jenner works harder. Has she ever known something about your personal life before you've known it's coming out?
She has.
Oh my God.
She has more times than less, her and Kim. So I think that saying is like cool. I'm like, Mom, that's so badass. And I think sometimes it bothers her. And I'm like, why does that bother you? But Kim has known about the cheating. I think both of the cheating stuff. I think Kim found out first. I know definitely this. I think both, which is crazy before I knew. And then my mom with my ex-husband, she knew things before I did and had to tell me. Or even now, like just the other day, she had to tell me something crazy. And I was like, are we okay that this is still happening? But
do you like that they know before you?
I would rather a family member than a stranger.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. I don't like that any of this stuff happens, but I would rather it them. I'm not someone that gets mad at the messenger.
That's a great point. And I also was thinking about it too when I was thinking about that. Like, it's great to have like publicists and agents and all that. But at the end of the day, I think you guys have been so fortunate to succeed in this industry because of how many of you there are and how much you guys have each other's back. And it's like, I really admire the way that it's so clear that you guys ride for each other no matter what. And there's just a lot of people that don't have that because it's not blood. Like, you have these people out there, and if they find something out, they're always going to have your back in these moments because that's literally your family. So,
well, and we always say, like, we get how you see someone that's in the limelight and then they spiral out of control. And I also get that because they don't have anyone else that's going through it with them. Like, even if they have a family with them, if they're not in the forefront, sometimes it's really hard to understand what that person's going through. And we feel really fortunate that even at the worst of it, we're like, but at least we get it together and we can really support one another. And no one can ever go too far because we're like, snap out of it. We know what you're going through. You can have a bad month, a bad week, whatever, but we're there to support each other and get each other out of it. And they're not relatable conversations that you can have with like your girlfriends. No. And I get that. And so for you to vent these things to your friend group, they're gonna be like, what are you talking? Like, I don't care. And those aren't real problems, but they're real in my reality. So it's nice where you have this circle of trust that you feel safe with, and you can vent about the most superficial, ridiculous things, but they matter to you at that moment. And so it is a blessing.
Well, you have mentioned that your family has multiple group chats. One of them even has ex-boyfriends in it. Okay, tell me who's in these group chats.
The one with all the baby daddies is the entire family group chat. And that is like my grandma, my cousin Cece. It's like everyone. There's the OG group chat, which is just the siblings and my mom. There's sisters and mom. because maybe my brother, if we're talking about men or whatever, my brother doesn't want to hear it. There's Jess Sisters. Kourtney's removed herself out of some group chats. So I know she thinks, or at one point, Kim outed everyone and said there was a not Kourtney group chat. That has been gone. But now there is a not Kourtney group chat, but unintentionally because she left a group chat. But when people leave, I love to add them back. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? You are not leaving. And then they get pissed. I just keep adding them.
Chloe, she's like, leave me alone.
Well, who runs away from a conversation? Either have it or mute us like Kendall and Kylie does.
Oh, that's so fucking true. Kylie's like, I haven't seen any of your texts in 4 years, but I'm going to keep it
at
moving.
least pretend that you're in there.
Okay, one of the most iconic moments was when you yelled liar at the Kardashians premiere after your ex came on screen.
I thought you meant at the table.
Both.
Yeah.
That was the most iconic. And then when you were back at the premiere and it was playing and you screamed liar in the crowd, like, so fucking good. You have to make light of like these like
you do
right dark situations. So I'm gonna tell you a crazy rumor that I read, and if it's fake, say liar.
Okay.
You face-tuned your cat.
Liar. Do I have to say liar? I could do it like that.
Okay, you didn't face-tune your cat.
No, I didn't.
Okay, love that.
And just so you know, because I was like, wow, that's crazy that people would think that. I tried to see if it would work in FaceApp and it doesn't. So if somebody just wanted to check, you can't do it. I tried because I was like, I just need to know if you fucking can, because that's insane if it lets you FaceApp an animal, and you can't.
Hollywood 4 does not work on the cat, bitches.
It doesn't. I wish
love
it did.
Me too.
Some cats need it.
You and your sisters are all paid the same amount on the Kardashians.
True.
Oh, are you guys allowed to like cut any footage that you don't like?
Yes, but it's more vanity things like that we would cut, like, and mainly like sometimes like my mom or something like that. But I've never, I mean, trust me, I would have cut way other shit. I've never cut anything crazy.
Who's the pickiest?
Kourtney, but it's more because she'll say, I say like too many times, so remove this word. It's more that regard. It's not really because of not storylines, because they're following us, but it's not about a story concept. It's more verbiage.
Yes, I get it.
Yeah.
You want to present well. I get it.
And she still says like
Too
500
much.
times.
We love you, Kourtney.
Yes.
Okay, lie or not, Rob lives in your house.
Liar. Everyone thinks that. I don't know why.
Oh
He
my
has
God.
his own home. He's an adult.
How do you think Rob has managed to stay so private?
He's a good old recluse like me. I respect it. But we live in the same community. He comes over all the time. I'm with Dream all the time. But yeah, I don't know why everyone thinks he lives with me. And I love that you asked that, because I think as a man too, not that it's a bad thing if he did live with me, because he did live with me at one point and I loved it, but I begged him to. And I actually wish he did live with me now. But I just think also he wants people to know, like, I got my own shit going on.
Okay, lie or not, you have a secret sex tape with your ex-husband.
I don't think so.
In 2016, you told Andy Cohen you had it locked in a safe.
Oh, maybe I do.
Chloe.
Wow, that's I don't even remember that. But maybe if I said that, then maybe. Wow.
I'm obsessed.
A lot happens every year. I'm like, wow, I went on Andy Cohen and said that. Then probably if
Really?
I said that.
Wait, you don't know?
But not like a sex tape. It's not like I was like entertained. Like it was never, if this is, I think it's all coming back to me. Like, I'm sure it was something we just did for ourselves,
Yes.
not like to sell to somebody. Oh my God, maybe.
I know, kind of fun.
Yeah, good for me.
Oh my God. Okay, lie or not? You're like, I have a sex tape.
I was like, I do not. And then in 2 seconds, I changed my answer.
No, I love it. Okay, lie or not, Kris Jenner plants stories in the press to distract from bad news of the family.
No, lie. But I love that people think that.
I love that for her, even if she did that.
I
Like,
know.
I would do that too if I had that power. I'm like, plant,
But
boom.
people would love what's actually in the media over this planted thing.
True. when someone is in the middle of family drama, can you like take us to what happens? Are you guys all on the phone? Are you texting? Are you meeting at someone's house? Like, where are you? How is it going down?
It could be all of the above. It depends the level of drama. And it's like, is this a code 4? And probably like a code 4 is like, we need an in-person meeting, family meeting, stat. Get Christy on the phone, our publicist. Like, we need everyone, all hands on deck. Or if it's a mild thing, then it could be a text war back and forth. But normally, no, not normally. It just depends what it is. But we've had a few in-person meetings.
Do you feel like it's calming down a little bit? Like people are a little less crazy towards you guys? Or do you think it's still as insane?
I think it just depends on the month. But I will say, for me, but it's also because I've been a recluse recently, but for me, I feel like things have calmed down, but I'm also not dating and all those things. So I don't have a lot of drama.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I love that for me
you
too.
Feel,
I deserve this for right now.
True.
I do.
Okay, lie or not, your therapist exposed your personal details to the tabloids.
True. I know. Rude.
Khloé,
don't be fucking rude.
No, beyond rude.
No, beyond.
Like,
not nice.
That's like, my heart breaks for you in that moment, because that is like, therapy is such a beautiful thing. I am in therapy and I can't imagine then the lack of trust that comes from someone that is being paid and has all the like laws around it that they're not allowed to spread that shit. Like, were you ever able to confront the person and get closure?
No. And this happened, it was couples therapy with my ex-husband. And I know for a fact it was this person, but when it happened, and this was like the height of tabloids. And when it was on the cover, I was like, I just knew instantly, but I was going through so much personally and emotionally. I just said, I'm done with this and and people always ask, why didn't I press charges? That's also just not my thing. Like, I know who you are and what you did, and I don't know what that's going to do for me. But what was done was done. That happened. And I also saw a doctor when I was with Lamar and I was trying to get pregnant. I was doing IVF, and that doctor, or a nurse, I can't say which one because I don't know, they released my IVF records to the press, and that's a violation of HIPAA law as well. But those two things really, the therapy thing really messed with me, and I took a break from therapy for a long time. I now have a new therapist, but it took, at least like 10 years it took me to trust someone again.
I was going to say, because I feel like especially when you go through things that you have publicly shared on the show and that has come out in media with like romantic relationships or even just like with your family and your life, like the natural thing that people would say is like, you should get into therapy and you should talk about how this has affected your ability to trust or to love or whatever. And then for you to have to be like, I tried that and they violated.
Right.
It's so backwards, and I'm so sorry that you've had to deal with that, because no one should ever have to deal with that. And then it's like, how do you even begin to look for help when you feel like the help that is there is going to exploit you?
You don't feel safe. And the whole point is feeling safe.
Is it true that now your new therapist is the same as Kim's?
True.
Oh my God. How is that going that you are sharing therapists with your sister?
I think it's great. I don't know. I think it's great. But also, Kim and I work really well together in life. We really do. And Kim introduced me to her. Kim was like, I'm seeing her. I think she'd be really beneficial to you. And she is. And she's just, and I think it's sort of good because she gets our dynamic even from a deeper level by knowing Kim.
Oh, nice.
I think so.
Yeah.
And she gets to hear Kim's version of the story, or Kim's version of, not that it's a lie or anything, but like Kim's version of our childhood and my version. And, because we all have different experiences in how we narrate things. And I think that's important.
I think that's amazing. I was also thinking like half the time you could be like, oh, I'm sure Kim caught you up on this, but this recently just happened. And then boom, you're in it.
If she does, she's really good at not acting like that.
Okay, obviously everything that you do is basically discussed on the internet. Do you read your comments?
Sometimes.
Okay.
I think it just depends. I didn't for years. Lately, not that I'm really reading. I like to engage with fans. So it's more like I like to just like, hi, I love you, like nice things because I'm just appreciative. But when it gets, I could tell if I'm in like a dark place and I'm like, I'm not strong enough to read things. So it just really depends on me, but I wouldn't say no.
What comments upset you the most?
Right now, I feel like I'm really good. Like I'm in a good place. I don't think I'm like, oh, shut up. Like I could just brush it off and be like, I don't know. Someone said something to me the other day. And I'm like, Daddy, chill. Like leave me the fuck alone. But things just don't get under my skin. But before, it would probably be more, I think, when I was fresh off of the Tristan cheating on me stuff, if it was any comment about me being weak or like I can't keep a man or things like that, that maybe I was already insecure about. Like I was like, okay, that's a trigger, but more so because I'm insecure about it. If they said it to me on another day, it probably wouldn't bother me.
I think that's also interesting because looking at public figures, so much of what we are seeing are things that people are also experiencing in their everyday life. Like there's nothing more relatable than getting cheated on. Sadly, I've been cheated on. Everyone in this room has been cheated on, and it's so fucking sad. But you having to play it out on the world stage, people get to have the opinions where like so many women obviously listening and watching are going to be like, oh, I went back after he cheated on me. But that is not on the tabloid. So you having to read things, I do love that you're saying like it literally depends on the day. Some days I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
It just depends where you're at mentally.
Totally. There's some days I'm like, I can't, like there was a time that I was like, I can't even go outside because I was so embarrassed to even look at people. And that I'm like, but why did I carry that with me? Like now that I'm out of that, and I don't know. And it was obviously something that I had to process and go through and work on myself about, but I'm not going to deny that I wasn't at that low of a point where there were times I would not leave my house because I just didn't even want to look at someone in the eyes. Like that's how dark it got for me.
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by BetterHelp. Daddy gang, I know that therapy can feel like a big investment, but your mental health is so important to making sure that you live a happy and fulfilling life. Let's talk numbers. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 per session, which adds up very fast. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save on average up to 50% per session. With BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big on cost and on time. Therapy should feel accessible, not like a luxury. And with online therapy, you can get quality care at a price that makes sense. Your mental health is worth it, and now it is within reach. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, switch therapists at any time if you feel like it's not quite the right fit. Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/daddy to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/daddy.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about your family?
Like it's silly to me, but when people say we're not talented, and I think in the traditional sense, like, no, we're not singing and dancing. Yes. But nowadays, there's so much more to people. And I think we have so much power in marketing and branding. And we've been in this business for 20 years. And to be able to do that and to do that with 6, 7, if you include my mom, different unique individuals and sustain and evolve and keep that going, you would call, if we were men, you'd be like, they're marketing geniuses. But because we're women, people want to, sort of poke and make fun. And we're along for the ride. We will make fun. We're along with the jokes. We'll go with it because we have a good sense of humor and we get it. But traditionally, yes, we're not sitting here singing on a stage, performing. And I respect that. But we also deserve a little respect in terms for how long that we've been sustaining in this industry and evolving and not just coasting. And to do it with so many different people.
I think what you guys have built is so fucking incredible. I just want to first say that.
Thank you.
I agree with you that I feel like for a while that was definitely the sentiment where people were like genuinely so frustrated that your family had so much traction. And there was like this absolute want for none of you to succeed.
Yeah.
And you all surpassed that. And like you said, you've all built your own individual businesses. Like it is insane that every single one of you has a thriving individual business while also the collective business.
Yeah.
And I think that you're right with regard to like the way that people speak about men versus women. I also do think that maybe the tides are going to shift because you now look at a traditional influencer, right? And I think we're watching a lot of influencers rise and fall within 2 years or 1 year or 3 years or 4 years because it's like they take too many brand deals and then they become less relevant and then they're kind of done and
or
they have
inauthentic.
Yes, and it's not authentic and it's not this or it's that. But I can imagine, yeah, it's frustrating to know if it was X amount of men in a family of brothers. It'd be like, God damn, they're so fucking smart. One of them should be the president of the United States.
Oh, we think that all the time.
Right?
But we also get it. Like we're the first ones we take it on the chin. Like, and I also think that's what we all should do. I think, yes, it's okay to still prove your place in the world, but also understand if people aren't forward thinkers with you. Because I get it, at the time, people couldn't understand, well, how are they acquiring such want and desire and attention? But what do they do? Like, I get that. But we've proven ourselves. And especially when people, like you said, were praying and trying for our downfall. And we were like, no, we're good.
It's really cool to see how you guys have continued to build in a way that as a businesswoman myself, like I look up to what you guys have done.
Thank you.
No, I love it. Okay, I'm going to give you a scenario and you tell me which family member you would call first. Okay. Who would you call if you needed a last minute red carpet look?
Kim.
Whose closet would you love to steal from the most?
Kim and Kylie.
Who has the best style?
They're so unique and different in their own ways. But if I had Kendall's body, I would say Kendall.
Okay. Who is the most high maintenance person in your family?
Kris Jenner.
As she should be.
As rightfully so.
Okay. What sister are you calling if you wanted to get back at an ex that did you wrong?
Ooh, well, it depends who, but I would say Kendall, Kylie, Kim on conference.
I can't imagine how much money people would pay for that trio if you need advice. Like I can't imagine being able to just call those three women and be like, I need advice. This man fucked me over. What do I do?
Yeah.
So good. Okay. What is the pettiest thing that you've done to get back at an ex?
So I'm not like that petty of a person. I wish I was but I will say I'm going to fuck your dad.
No.
But it doesn't happen. But that would be like my dream if I was like that petty. But no, that's never happened.
Chloe, the way that you just said that was like, I was like, oh my God, she's done that.
Because in my soul, I want to. But then I'm like, I will braid your hair later. Like I'm such a pussy. But I pretend. I am. Like in my soul, I'm like, and when I'm mad at you, I will fucking go off and I'm a machine gun with my words and insults. And then I'm like, all right, whatever.
You're like, no.
I'm over it. I got all the energy out.
And then you're like, what are you doing later? You wanna hang out?
Fine. Come over.
Who makes the worst decisions when it comes to guys in your family?
Can I say myself?
No.
I would say me.
Not anymore, though.
No. Cancel. Not anymore. I do not claim that energy anymore.
We're done. What is the furthest length you've ever gone to get intel on a guy?
Oh, I've gone far. I've gone far. I mean, yeah. Kim has this way of knowing how to hack into people's voicemails when voicemails were a thing. So we've done that in the past.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing you guys like sitting around the kitchen, getting in there, screaming when you hear it.
Screaming, throwing the phone down, or like, because you're like, oh my God, like we didn't think we would actually get in, and we get in.
And most times would you find something?
Probably every time. I mean, I've also I've also I've had trackers on people's cars before. Yeah.
Oh, she's gone.
Listen, gone girl over here.
It's so crazy too when people are like, oh, well, is that crazy? It's like, no, when you force a woman to go crazy, it's like, what did you do?
That's what I hate. Do not act like you did not put me in this position and you did not make me be this psychopath. But I think that's something I need to think is a red flag in a man when they create the psychopath in me.
It's so true, but it doesn't mean we can't look back with fond memories. Like Khloé, I remember I got my boyfriend cheated on me. I decided to stay and I got his iPad and it was connected to his iCloud. Khloé, I'm living in New York City at the time and it was a big ass iPad. They didn't have the small ones. I'm walking to and from work, getting on the subway, going to work, and I have the iPad open at all times, reading his incoming texts, reading, eating lunch. I would literally set it up at work. It'd be my computer screen and the iPad. It's an addiction.
Once you start, you can't stop. I've been there. I have been there.
So bad.
I remember my ex-husband, and he remembers this story, I'm sure. We were married. He was doing his thing, and he went down to some motel in downtown LA and was with a girl, and I was young. It's not that, I mean, I'm like maybe 26, something like that. Probably still old enough to not behave like this, but I was there and I remember asking the guy at the front, I was like, hey, is Lamar Odom, where's Lamar Odom? Like, he's this big guy, you can identify him. He told me what room he was in. I saw in the window that him and this girl they were either naked or she was in lingerie, something like that. I knocked on the door. They answered it for some reason. And I just started going ballistic. And I remember the next day, it was, I think, Penelope's birthday party. And it was a cowboy party. And my knuckles were all bloody and gross. And I just had bandanas wrapped around. I was on theme. And I acted as if nothing ever happened. And I don't think I ever said a thing. He could not understand how I knew where he was. And I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm not telling anybody anything. And why are you in a motel in downtown LA at 3 a.m?
The best part is you're saying, you're like, he's like, how did you find out? Khloé, they're always like, how did you find out? You're like, it doesn't matter. Why are you doing
Why are
this?
you here? But also, everyone told, like, it's like you're this 7-foot tall man. You're on the Lakers, everyone knows who you are. You're very identifiable. So I think how I found out was people on Twitter were like, Lamar Odom is da-da-da. And so I, of course, am that psychotic. I searched his hashtag for his name, of course, like
it's
any real girl does.
No, oh my God. Do you remember like that? I used to go, if I knew he was at a certain club, I'd like go to the Instagram story of the club.
Of course.
See who's tagging at the club. Then you go to their page.
Oh no, it's that you never sleep. Girls never sleep.
But that is when, to any girl going through it right now, there is something so genuinely freeing. At first, it's painful because you literally feel like you're going through withdrawals. Where like, I remember my friend took the iPad from me and she was like, yes, we're done.
No, you need to.
And I said no. And then I took it back and it only took him finally figuring it out and deactivating it.
Yeah.
Like she couldn't even get it away from me. But then it ended up, I started living my life again. I would go to work and not be focused on the iPad.
It's an obsession and an addiction. And the best thing is when you're free of that. And I pray I never am back there again.
Me too.
I won't be. Yes,
I'm sending all the energy.
This was years ago. So hey.
Like you've mentioned, you recently turned 40. How would you describe this new era of your life? Like entering this new decade? Just give me all the feels.
So I have heard before when I was in my 30s, like, turning 40s is so great. Everyone's like, it's freeing. It's this. So I always had a really good perception of what 40 was going to be like. And my 30s were just really tough for me, like a lot of traumatic experiences. I had great experiences like by having my kids, but either business or so many things weren't going the way that I really wanted them to or how I envisioned. And I think that for me, at least, I envisioned being married and having kids. And I just had this different fantasy, I guess, or just what I thought when I was 20, what was going to happen in my life. And those things didn't happen. And then I was like, you know what, instead of making this such a sob story, I'm going to be like, let me change the narrative, get all the shit out in my 30s. And I'm going to leave them in my 30s. And they're just going to be stepping stones and things that make me stronger and better for my 40s. And intentionally in the last like 2 years of my 30s, I called it like shedding this negativity. And I actually saw he's like a spiritual healer. And he was like, you are, and like your new decade is going to be this fresh start for you. And he just sort of confirmed everything that I felt. And I started a couple new businesses in my 30s, but they didn't come true until my 40s. And I just felt like now so many great things are happening for me. Not that they weren't my 30s, but the traction was slower. And I'm not going to hold on to any of the negativity that I had in my 30s. So I'm like, okay, that was all the bullshit. I'm leaving it there. And I'm only receiving and accepting beautiful, positive things for my 40s.
I love everything you just said, because at the very beginning you said something that I think is very relatable, especially for women, and just like timelines when you're talking about like wanting this thing for yourself and having this like very, very clear vision of exactly what you thought you were going to have. And I have so many women write into me being like, I am 32, I'm 35, I'm 30, I'm 38, whatever it be, in that 30 or like end of the 20s era. And it's this like horrible feeling. You feel like upset with yourself and disappointed in yourself because you're like, no, I was supposed to do this. And especially when you're comparing yourself to whether it's your sisters or your friends being like, but she got married and she was doing this. And then you start to just feel like you failed. Like, and there's no chance to get the time back. And I fucked this up. Like, do you have any advice for any women listening of how you did end up pushing through, not sticking to the timeline that you had envisioned essentially your whole life growing up?
Well, I think at first you have to go through those feelings, and it's okay to feel it. Like, I definitely felt like a failure, or my time passed. And I think it's natural to compare, at least for me. I have all these successful siblings and I see all what they're doing, and I'm like, okay, but I'm sort of stagnant at this place. And for me, I love to pray. I have a Bible app that I do every morning. I need that time for myself, but it sets the tone for my day. And if I don't do that, or if I don't at least have your positive affirmations or whatever that is that really encourages yourself, if it's the gym, like little things, you have to take that you time. But I took time intentionally this year to self-reflect and be like, what am I doing? Because it's not everybody else. So what am I doing that's not sticking? Or let me change how I'm handling something else. But when it comes to marriage or kids, like that, I feel bad that we put that pressure on ourselves. And it's hard not to, because essentially we do have this biological clock that's ticking when it comes to babies. But also what is really cool is I did do IVF in my 20s. And when you froze embryos then, you had to sign something that I believe it said like when you're 40 or 42, if you don't use these embryos yet, you have to either donate you have your choices, either donate them to science, donate them to people for adoption, or terminate them. And you signed which ones that you agreed to. And then I made embryos, I want to say when I was like 35. And that time span now, it's at like 50 something. And so it moved about 10 years because our life expectancy is longer. So I'm saying that to say that we don't have to have kids as early as we once thought we could. My mom years ago had Kendall and Kylie at 40 and 41. And that was 28 years ago or whatnot, 29 years ago. And so I think sometimes we have these expectations, or we think by 32, if I don't have X, Y, and Z done, then it's over for me. But that's not essentially the case. And I think we have to focus on what makes us happy, and everything else will fall into plan. And if it's in God's will, it's going to happen, not to get all spiritual. But I do think what's meant for you is always going to find you no matter what, but you have to believe it's going to happen. And mainly you have to believe that you're worthy of that. There was a long time that I didn't think I was worthy of a certain type of love. And I think that shows. And I really had to work on myself and say that I'm worthy of the same type of love that so many other people are.
I can tell the way you're saying it, Khloé, is like it took a lot of the shit that was painful to get to the place where you're getting to say that. And so that's why I also think I appreciate you sharing that, because I think someone could really need that advice right now because they could be in a similar place as you were a few years ago, or you just found out that you thought the love of your life isn't going to be that anymore. Like whatever it is that's like shifting for someone right now, that message I think is so powerful to alleviate a little bit of the stress that they feel that they're putting on themselves. I want to talk about your romantic life for a second because you were only 23 when Keeping Up with the Kardashians started.
I think I was 22.
22. Yeah. Okay, 22. Can you talk to me about, like, in hindsight, looking back now, like, how do you feel that some of your hardest romantic relationship moments played out on the world stage for the public eye?
So what's interesting is when we started, we were just supposed to be show filler. I think Lindsay Lohan had a reality show that was supposed to go on E, and something happened where she scrapped it last minute. And E was like, we need something filler, just 6 episodes. And my mom and Kim were like, we're going to do it. Or I don't know how that conversation went, but basically we had this show. And we were told, don't worry, I think the quote was, don't get too comfortable here. You're just filler. So when we first started, we were like, we just weren't thinking that people are going to watch this. Do you know what I mean? We were just like, we're filler. We're told not to get comfortable here. It is what it is. And so we were just being morons, like just who we are, like just not overthinking it. And it snowballed into something really great. But I didn't think everything through, if you will. And so I'm just being me. But I also have always tried to keep that for me. I don't want to overthink, or else I think it really changes how the show is perceived. And so with that, not that I want all of these things to be played out on the show, but I've really made a conscious effort to not edit. And if I feel like it's fair game, if something's in the press that's true and that's happening, it's my obligation to have that on TV because that's what in fact is happening. And that's not fair for me to say, you know what, I don't want that on the show because it's in the press or because it hurts me or whatever. I feel like I can't be the only one going through certain things. And if it makes somebody else feel seen, or if it helps somebody get through something, or it doesn't have to be the exact same thing, but if it's something that they can relate to at all, I really hope that I make someone feel more seen and safe, and that they're not alone on this island that feels so incredibly isolating.
One of the things, again, that I think like people, I mean, you got so much commentary, obviously, on your relationship with Tristan, but I do genuinely believe that there were a lot of women that connected to it. And even if they were ashamed or embarrassed that they've done something similar, I think that storyline was also so massive, aside from like the intricate details of like, holy fucking shit, like that was insane. But the actual relatability of it and going back to someone and trusting them again to then have them fuck you over again.
Right.
Can you talk to me about how you decided, though, that relationship was worth another try? Because I think a lot of people go through that feeling.
So with the Tristan stuff, when Kim, I think it was, found out that Tristan was cheating on me when I was pregnant, she was, if I remember correctly, I think she was about to sit down for Keeping Up interviews, and it happened while she was in the interview chair. I don't know if as much would have been shown if that's not how it was unfolding in real time. We just happened to be filming all the fucking time. So it did happen that way. And then that happened. I went into labor 48 hours later, and I agreed to have the cameras in the delivery room because I wanted that for True. And I chose for Tristan to be there because it wasn't about me. And people couldn't get over that. And also, I've never had a baby before at this point. It's my first pregnancy. I want to have what I envision, like we just talked about, but I just wanted what I wanted. And I don't know if that was the right thing. And I don't know, I just did what I felt was the right thing to do by saying to my daughter, your dad was in the delivery room. I don't need to tell her. One day she's going to know everything because she's going to be old enough to know. But I don't think she needs to know, oh, I didn't have your dad in there because I was so angry. Do you know what I mean? I felt like I can't make a permanent decision off of temporary emotions. I'm not going to hate Tristan forever, but I will never get that birth experience back. So there's so many things I did for my child at that time. And I remember I was in Cleveland, I was staying there, and after the birth of True, and I was like in this isolated bubble of being alone with my child with these hormones. I would not watch TV. It was a huge media story. I couldn't even leave the house. We were surrounded by paparazzi. It was really isolating and overwhelming. I had no family, and I honestly don't know, but little by little, Tristan and I just started reconnecting and seeing this man with your brand new baby and all these things. Yes, you do get blinded by so many things. I'm not going to deny that. But interestingly enough, I always had this guard up after that. I always felt something wasn't right. And that is something that I don't regret because I have Tatum. But that's something that I always remind myself, I could never fully get back there. And he knew that. And we would talk about it. And we even did therapy over it. And like I never could fully trust him, or I never felt safe around him again. And so like either if he hugged me or little things like that, there were things that anybody could tell that I had major guards up. And so I'm not saying what I did was right, but God had other plans because I had my son, but there was something that I pushed to the side, and I don't know why. It could have been that I was just so hormonal and new. I don't know. But yeah, it's just, I know if I didn't have a baby, I never would have stayed with Tristan, like ever.
Do you think that now looking back, did the first cheating hurt, or was the second one worse?
Call Her Daddy is brought to you by T-Mobile. When it's time for a big, juicy gossip session with one of my friends, I need a reliable way to get all the tea. And by tea, I mean T-Mobile, okay? Having more 5G coverage means getting 5G signal more often. And as someone who is constantly on the go, it is so nice to have a reliable network that I can count on. Being a T-Mobile customer also means that I have access to a ton of perks like concert tickets, skipping lines at events, and free in-flight Wi-Fi so I can keep posting from the sky. That free in-flight Wi-Fi has been key lately because we are trying to find my best friend Lauren a man on every flight we take, and I have to keep the Daddy Gang updated live with our progress. T-Mobile also has VIP Club Magenta lounges that offer free drinks for T-Mobile customers, and you guys know I can't say no to a free dirty martini. So, Daddy Gang, kick your old carrier to the curb. It is time to block their number. Then go and hit up T-Mobile when you're ready to really be taken care of. Check out the VIP treatment at tmobile.com/benefits.
Do you think that now looking back, did the first cheating hurt, or was the second one worse?
I think the first one hurt the most because I was pregnant, but also I didn't get to sit with my feelings enough for the first one. I gave birth less than 48 hours later after the first cheating scandal happened with Tristan. And I don't know if this sounds right, but it's what I can think to say is that I don't even think I was able to process everything that happened because I think if I maybe was 6 months pregnant and that happened, I probably would have walked away and never went back. But because I gave birth less than 2 days later, and then I buried my head in the sand and I was like, I just want to have this bliss that I always dreamed of and have a brand new baby and have the daddy here. And I think who wouldn't, but it's really, when you've never been in that position, it's really easy to judge and to say things. I only did the best that I knew how. And I think the worst part of that experience was how much I let down my younger sisters. Because I remember they were like, he's going to do this again. Don't like stay with him. And I remember, I don't know exactly what was said, but I just remember sort of the disappointment in them. They would never say that to me, and they've never said that to me. But I've always felt how much I've disappointed them by staying and doing that again. Because that's so, I didn't do that. I was always like, fuck him, and they're disrespecting you. And so I still feel really horrible about that because I've always been this big sister to them. But I will say, so maybe the second one hurt more because I lived with it for so much longer. And maybe I've had more shame with the second scandal because I sort of knew it was going to happen again.
Do you think you would ever talk to Kylie and Kendall about it? Like now having hindsight, like I realized like I still have this like feeling that I let you guys down, and I
would talk to them about anything, but I don't think they would ever admit that I let them down because I don't think that they realize how much I saw in their faces. Like I don't think, and I think now True's going to be 7 next month. And so 7 years have gone by and so much life has happened for Kendall and Kylie as well. So maybe they even understand more than 7 years ago, but I'll never forget their faces. And I don't think for a second they would even feel like I disappointed them. But I remember those faces and it's hard to forget something like that.
I was going to say like, I think that what you said though is so relatable of like, but they've lived since then. And I think the closer you get to more life experience, like even you saying that, Khloé, I'm going to be honest, like I bet when all this came out 7 years ago, I was probably like judging you like, oh, like how did she get back with him? And what is that? And then now I'm sitting here and I'm thinking about having kids one day. And I'm thinking about myself being in a situation where I do have a child. And when you're talking about this period where you're like, I literally gave birth. I just gave birth. And yes, I want to enjoy that. Like, I so get that now because I'm getting closer to that point in my life where I probably in my early 20s was like, what the fuck is she doing? Oh my, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's just perspective.
But I probably would have done the same if I saw someone going through that. And sometimes you can see a car crash happening before it actually happens. And, you know, when you asked which one hurt more, at first, like my initial reaction was, oh, the one with True, the first one. But then I was like, but actually, no, I think the second one, because I had so much more time to live with it. And, you know, I hid it from the public that I was having a second baby, even though I found out he had another child. And then I had to deal with this privately, and that was almost worse. But I was so ashamed to tell the world that I was having another baby because I already knew what they were going to say. And I already knew what everyone was going to say about me. And I already knew in my gut that that was probably going to happen again. And then that sounds idiotic. Why would you be with someone? But there was just this, now I knew in hindsight, oh, that's what that feeling was of never feeling safe with him again. That my body sort of knew, a woman's intuition, this isn't the right fit for you. But at the time I couldn't identify what that is. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it does. I want to ask you, like, to someone sitting and listening to this right now that is contemplating staying with someone that cheated on them, like, do you have any advice?
Well, from my experience, I don't think people really can change in that regard. But I also think, I don't know, I would have to know like the context of the story. I don't want to like tear anyone's dreams down. For me, I would say, you know, once people show you who they are, believe them. And that's something I had to learn the hard way. And also you have to listen to your gut and your intuition. And I really was trying to mute mine, I think, because I wanted to have this vision of what my life was more than I would listen to something. But what kind of life is that?
I also just feel like the takeaway too is like, yes, we can sit here and try to give people advice, but like sometimes you actually need to live it. Sometimes you do need to get punched in the gut and have these horrible things happen for you to know now, like, yes, you felt that gut feeling that maybe they would have cheated again. I had the same thing and he did. He cheated again, but I needed to feel it because I couldn't have anyone look at me and tell me otherwise until I was done with it myself. And I really, really learned from it and was able to move on and have closure within myself. Because also giving credit to friends and sisters, like they can beg us, but it's so fucking different when it's your life and there's kids involved. Like,
it is.
Hands down, you have to go through it on your own.
And the advice I would give when I was single with no kids is so different than the advice I would give having kids. And it's really, really fucking hard when you have children involved and you have this fairy tale that you really want to fulfill and live out, and you can and don't, but that doesn't mean that another fairy tale can't be created.
We got to kind of see you get this closure with your ex-husband, Lamar, this season. How do you come to terms that love just like isn't enough sometimes?
I know that's sad, because I think in your 20s, you really believe that love is all you need. And Lamar is, I really do think it was the right person, wrong time. And I have so much love for Lamar, and in every relationship that I have, like, I'm so grateful for them, even the worst of them. Like, I really think that they mold me and they make me more empathetic and compassionate, and they build me in a different way. And with Lamar, that was one of the best. It's crazy because it was one of the best chapters of my life. And then also it took away so much of my innocence. There were things that I was exposed to that I never in a million years thought I would be exposed to. I definitely lived a double life for a long time. And again, even things I never would have even predicted that I would have been living, or I don't think people could imagine. But when it was one of the most awkward things I've ever filmed, Lamar and I have so much history, and to not talk to someone in almost 10 years and then to be around them, and I didn't know what to expect. I was nervous. He was clearly very nervous. I felt like, without me realizing it, because we sat for 4.5 hours. So what you guys saw, I think, was maybe at 20, 30 minutes tops. We were there for 4.5 hours. And there were things that I didn't realize until watching. I sort of blacked out. And it was just my trauma taking over. And this was me in autopilot. And how many things either he did or said that were triggering me to the old Lamar. So I noticed myself being short or snappy or this or that. And I didn't like that version of me. And I'm sure he didn't like that version of me or whatnot. And maybe I triggered him in different ways. I don't know. But I really love that I got that experience with him. But I think there's so much more that maybe needs to be said and done. But I also don't know if I need that right now.
And I think that's like okay to say. Like, I feel like even you saying like 10 years without speaking to someone, and then you're sitting across from them and you're still having a trauma response, like that is normal to everyone who says like, well, trauma just goes away at some point. No. Like a lot of times it can live with you for your whole life, or it can be a specific things trigger it. If you smell something, if you see something, whatever it is. So like you having that response, I agree. It's like now you can take your time, on your time and on his time, when you guys can figure out it works for you to like go down that path. But maybe it doesn't all need to be in like one sit down, like let's fix this whole thing and like let's move on. Like,
and I didn't think for a second I still was holding on to anything. And so then when I was with him were certain things that either made me have flashbacks to 10 years ago. I just noticed that I turned my brain off because so much I didn't even remember being said or done until I watched the show. And I was like, oh, damn, that was a little harsh, or I can't believe I said that to him. But it's wild that I would black out at daytime. Like, it's not like I was on anything. That's why I was like, it was so bizarre to me. I've never been in that situation before. But I also, like, I'm so grateful for all those experiences too. But I do think maybe more does need to be discussed. I just don't feel the need or the urgency to do it right now.
Do you think you would ever get married again?
I would love to get married again.
You would?
Yeah. A lot of people think that I am very, like, maybe cynical about love. And I'm a hopeless romantic. I believe in love and I think it's beautiful. And I love the union of marriage. I respect it so much.
And you're single right now?
I'm single right now.
Are you dating?
I have not dated in over 3 years since
Khloé.
Tatum was in my surrogate's belly.
Okay. Would you?
Yeah, over 3 years.
When are you going to get back out there? Are you still going to take it slow? Like, do you have an idea of like?
So I think I need to work on things with myself still.
Yep.
Because I'm really happy. I don't feel lonely. I don't feel any of that stuff. I feel great, which is actually like concerning because I feel like I could go this way for like 10 more years.
You're like, I love this shit. I'm in bed
I love
alone
it.
and watching my documentaries.
Yeah, no one's bothering me, taking a bed space. Like, I'm good. But I also think a lot of it is too that I don't know. I've worked on my confidence so much and I've gotten that back or in a good place, but I don't know how confident I am in trusting myself when it comes to picking men just because of my past. And so I'm working on that. And I don't want just distractions in my life. I'm not lonely or bored in that regard. If I need a night out, I have my girlfriends, and I just don't, once you get to a certain place, you don't even miss a thing.
Yes.
I don't need anything. But I need to work on feeling confident in who I'm picking.
Okay, I'm going to describe a man to you.
Oh, God.
And you are going to tell me if you would give him a shot.
Ugh.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. He is super present and involved in your life, but refuses to be on the show or let you post pictures of him.
Does he have social media?
That's a great question.
I hope not. I love that.
I was going to say, is it suspicious if a guy doesn't have social media?
Doesn't? No, I love that. That's like a big turn on.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, that's hot. So you'd be down if he didn't have social media.
Yes.
Because if he has a social media and he's not posting you.
Right. Then that makes me like,
little sus.
Oh, that's weird. Because what are you have a family that you're hiding from?
But actually.
Yeah.
Okay. All of your sisters are obsessed with him, but Kris hates him.
Oh, that would be so hard. I don't think so.
Yeah, you actually like live together basically.
Yeah,
You're
basically.
Like,
and I probably care, like, because she hangs out with me more than my sisters half the time.
Who do you think is the hardest sister to impress when it comes to bringing a guy around?
Kendall.
Really?
Kendall and Court. But Kendall is like no nonsense.
Love that for you.
I love that for her too.
Kris once said, you got ghosted because you didn't give your date a blowjob. What other chaotic relationship advice has she given you? I fucking love her.
Today, she was like, don't bring up the blowjob story. I was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, but it was true. She's like, well, it doesn't make me look good. And I was like, well, it was like the early 90s. It was a different time.
Kris, we fucking love that you said this. You're like, the fact that she even said that, I'm obsessed. Like come on. It was
the early 90s. It's fine.
So good.
I don't know. I mean, she's just a very forward thinking type of mother. And the thing that I love about my mom is you can literally tell her anything and she's fine with it. She just wants to be in the know, and she will find, like, she's also a problem solver. So if there's anything that's not going right, she'll find the solution. So I don't know off the top of my head, but she'll
figure it out.
A girl out.
Okay, he's the best sex you've ever had, but you find out he once hooked up with one of your sisters.
You want to know what's crazy?
What?
The older we get, the pull gets smaller. Like, I'm like, I don't know. I think if I was 20, I would probably be like, that's a deal breaker.
But you're like, I don't care.
But now I'm like, do we need to talk about it? We're good, right?
I think that's fair.
Like, I don't know if that, like,
that's not bad.
Incestual?
No, I think it depends. I think it depends. Like, how about this? If they have a baby together.
Oh, that's where we draw the line. Okay, we're not sharing baby daddies, but I don't know, if you slept with someone 20 years ago, what the fuck am I supposed to do? It's hard out here.
I kind of agree. Like,
Yeah.
especially if they were like, oh, he was so good and a great guy.
How awkward.
Like,
but I personally wouldn't care. Like if this was me and let's say Kim or Court or whoever single was like, oh, I met this guy. I'm like, oh my God, I fucked him when I was 20, but it's fine. Like I wouldn't care.
Which of your sisters has the complete opposite type from you?
Courtney, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He loves to work out with you,
Love that.
but he's in the NBA.
I can't anymore. No, I draw the line. Like maybe hooking up.
Ooh.
Because I can hook up with people and like not think about it. I'm not one
Oh,
of
really?
I haven't done it in a while, but
You don't
I
get
miss
feelings?
those days. I mean, when I was younger, I was able to. It's a different world when you have kids. I don't know. But also I think it's more like it's transactional. Like this is business because I have kids.
Yeah. Like,
Like,
get in here. Let's
Get in
do
here
it.
and get out. You're not staying because you're not meeting my kids. So that's where my mindset, I think, is.
Mhm.
But I cannot. And yes, I'm going to stereotype. I will not be with another NBA player. But yes, if I need to fuck or whatever, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not there.
Maybe.
But I'm not going to say no. But I don't know what
So-
I just said.
No. So she's like, is this Caller Daddy? No.
Is this on?
So no more NBA, but would you do a different type of professional athlete? No.
Ideally not.
Okay.
But again, I would hook up. But, never say never. But
No.
it's just,
I
I
know.
feel like I'm
A year
need
later.
to- I know. Year later. I'm like, I'm married.
Chloe.
I'm getting married.
You're
to
like, when he's in
whoever.
the NFL, Alex,
Yeah.
I promise.
I mean, and I hate to stereotype but I haven't had great experiences is all I'm going to say.
Girl, that is so fucking fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about your podcast. Khloé in Wonderland. First of all, congratulations, because
Ew.
I love podcasting. It's hard work, but it's rewarding. Why did you want to start this?
Well, it's Khloé in Wonderland. So it's all about like, go down the rabbit hole with me. I have so many bizarre curiosities and I sincerely am just fascinated by the strangest things. I just watched a documentary on atomic bombs and I am like, hell yes. I'm so dorky in that way that people probably wouldn't think. But yeah, I just want to talk about, I really have bizarre, weird fascinations and I want to indulge in them.
Are you going to have your sisters on the pod?
So the funny thing is, Kylie was like, I'm so offended you haven't asked me to be on the podcast. And I'm like, well, what are you going to give me? Like, I don't really, like, what would you give me that I don't already know about? Like, I already know it's going to be very contrived. So like, I don't need this. But most people would die to have, my sisters on. I'm more like, whatever. Like, we'll think about it. But like my mom, yes. Yes. Love Kris Jenner. Because we also are like Laverne and Shirley, Lucy and Ethel. Don't know if these people know who that is. But,
You
we're
guys
just
have a
like
vibe
fun.
that you can like talk about complete random shit.
Yes.
Where people are going to want the tea.
Yes.
Like if you're having Kylie on, everyone's going to be like, why didn't you ask about the Oscars?
Yes.
You're going to be like, oh, okay.
And I have like a list of things what I should have asked about. And
Yeah.
it's too much pressure for me.
Who is your current dream guest?
So I love Dolly Parton. I really, really do.
Oh,
I know. I love her. But her poor husband just passed away of 60 years. And my heart breaks for her. I'm not kidding.
heartbreaks. Not the right time to ask for a
Not
pod,
the right
but-
time.
But at one point, maybe.
One day I love her, but I'm so excited. I just had this UFOologist on and I love shit like that. So like,
I am obsessed that you're
Sign me
going a
up.
direction that no one would have thought. You're
I
like,
love conspiracies.
last question. If you could go back and talk to yourself during season 1 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, what would you say?
You've done an excellent job.
Oh.
Yeah. I wouldn't change a thing. Like as sad or hard and, depressing or whatever as some situations may have been, the great outweighs all the bad that's ever happened to me. And I am just proud of how I've handled everything. And I'm most proud of how me and my family have stuck together and just enjoy the ride.
Khloé, I just had such a great time with you.
I did too.
Thank you so much for coming on. It's so nice to meet you in person. Obviously, I feel like I've just watched you for so many years. I've obviously watched the show. I'm a huge fan, but like to get to sit here with you, it was truly a pleasure.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on. I've honestly had the best time. I felt like this
chill.
went by, chill and really fast.
Love.
Yeah.
Love. Done.
Thank you.